Hello friends, how are you all? Hope you are doing great at various aspects of your lives. Today we are going to talk about an epic love story from the Mahabharata. Mahabharata or Mahabharata is the greatest, longest and most complex epic around the world. No matter that if a specific book series is going to break the record in terms of length or number of words, the way it is accepted and loved by millions of people will remain unmatched. The way it views the complexity of relations and society in a brutal yet aesthetic way is something unparalleled. Most of the people consider the Mahabharata a story of a war. Of course, a great battle known as the same name is an essential part of the same, but the story had begun a long ago in terms of incidents and events that leads to the battle. And it moves forward with a few generations after the battle itself. So the Battle of Mahabharata is simply a part of the entire epic, officially named as Jai or Jaya. Every author, or let me say the majority of the authors who are familiar with Indian mythology, has a desire to retell the great story from his or her perspective. Some author fell in love with some of the characters so much that they consider that the respective character or characters is or are not elaborated properly in the most popular version of the epic, and thus come up with the stories where the respective character is or characters are at the center of the story. Anyway, let us talk about the love stories referred in Mahabharata, explored by author Ashok Kumar Benkar. Ashok has written 5 parts of 5 books till now in Epic Love Stories series. I will put the links to our reviews for all those books in the description below. In the same book series, one important love story is of Ganga and Shantanu. Ashok wrote a small book exploring this love story with a tagline, "A love story written on water." No matter how good the content of the book is, it is the cover page of the same that makes the first impression, and it often proves to be one of the most important factors behind the purchase and or reading decisions. As you can see, the cover page explores an illustration of the royal couple. The way the illustration is made, it justifies the tagline, "A love story written on water," especially the lady's illustration and the way it dissolves. A really interesting and thoughtful cover page, I must say. Let us take a bird's eye view of the book plot. It all starts with the story of King Mahabhisha. He was a king from Ikshvaku clan. He was a very powerful warrior and a very prominent figure of his time. He visited councils of Deva quite often. He visited one such council where Lord Brahma was also present, and when the council was going on, Ganga, the river goddess and the daughter of Brahma, came to meet her father. In a fateful moment, the wind blew in such a way that the only garment Ganga wore untangled. It was a moment when she was all in her birthday suit. While all the attendants lowered their eyes to respect the modesty of the lady, Mahabhisha couldn't do that. Ganga caught his sight and reciprocated affirmatively. So, it was a mutual short affair. The things, of course, didn't go well with the elders, and eventually a curse was thrown to Mahabhisha, and his partner in crime Ganga was also destined to suffer the consequences. Mahabhisha was later born as Shantanu, but before his birth, Ganga reserved her place as the wife of yet to born child to King Pratip. What happened then after? Well, the tale is very popular and thus known to all those who have even a remote connection to Indian mythology. So let us not explore more of that here. Ashok K. Banker is definitely a gifted author. He has the skills to explore a fantasy world on the pages. The way he elaborates a scene or explores the attributes of a character is worth reading. Let me share an example from the book, Truthful and Courageous. He was renowned for having performed 1000 Ashwamedha sacrifices and 100 Vajpaya sacrifices. For his devotion and sacrifice, he attained entrance to the heavenly realms and was honored by the Devas. See how effectively he has explored the stature of King Mahavir. Writing or retelling any segment of Mahabharata is like walking on a tightrope. On one hand, the author needs to take care of not hurting the sentiments of the readers, as the epics of Ramayana and Mahabharata are considered sacred in a large number of households, and a large number of characters are worshipped by the people, and on the other, representing the already known tale in an interesting manner is itself a challenge. Elaborating characters flawlessly by keeping intact the weaknesses of the same is one of the key factors for that, and this is how he describes the beauty and power of Ganga. Dolphins leaped and sang in greeting. Turtles swam around her in homage, and her power over the river was evident. At the same time, the author delves into human psyche quite effectively. The way he talked about a prime character of the book entering into his youth is quite realistic, and of the age when anything seems doable, even the most extraordinary feat imaginable. And in addition to the vulnerabilities, the author talks about the strengths of the characters quite convincingly. His swallowed nervousness was never one of his traits. A strong, powerful man with great gifts of mind and body. He had been raised without a reason to doubt himself or his abilities. Yet, before this vision of a woman, he felt tongue-tied, as nervous as an errant disciple before a stern guru. The book has some really nice word plays that will grab your attention. I like the way he talked about the dilemma of the king and his choice of free will in a specific situation. At this, he paused. So he had a choice. That was good. Some part of him, the most mature part, the part that has been schooled so thoroughly in the Vedas and Shastras, the science of kingship and governance, the legal aspects of society, that still sane part whispered that it was a fair offer. He was free to reject it and go his own way. There was no coercion involved. Continuing the same, there come even more interesting lines. Of course, sometimes the most powerful form of coercion is the illusion of free will itself. Thus does destiny tempt and seduce us time and again. I chose, we say proudly. But what other choice did we truly have? If you are a fan of short yet effective punchlines, here are some of them from the book. That was not a marriage, it was an autocracy. And he knew that his free will and choice were as good as no will or choice. They were golden days, and they passed with the speed of a dolphin racing down river. Matters of the heart do not always turn out the way we plan, great Puru. The mind forgets what it cannot bear to remember. If only the heart could forget so easily. Only a gifted author can bring such lines to paper. He felt a surge of panic. As an addict of Soma, feels when told that there would be no further supply of his precious honey wine for an untold length of time.
I really like the way the book talks about true love and how it makes one practice monogamy instead of the then popular practice of polygamy. Men who seek comfort in the arms of new women each night are men who have not discovered the supreme pleasure of the perfect union. While the pseudo-feminists struggle in finding right words for women empowerment and gender equality, the author quite nicely brought in the importance of consent and, even more importantly, love in the act of a union in a simple yet effective way. For it is love which is the ultimate aphrodisiac, and without the emotional bonding and joining of souls, the act itself is merely violence without weaponry, an act of rage rather than pleasure. Being a love story where the free spirit is very important and belong to a time and culture where it is highly respected, the presence of Shringar Ras is quite obvious. This book thus contains a lot of material which aesthetically talks at a length about physical beauty and desire of sex. The book, however, draws a fine line which the story never crosses. Nevertheless, it makes the book for adult readers only. While most of the people know Shantanu as a king who grew up in wealth and had a fall for beauty, not much about his bravery, warrior skills, or any other aspects are explored. This book talks a little about that, and that makes it a good read. In terms of literary qualities, the book is really rich, and some of the spoiler free segments I have talked about can advocate that for sure. Ashok's vocabulary is rich, and his grip on English grammar is really strong, and it makes the things better for a reader. Short story, the author gets comparatively lesser number of lines to build the things up and make the story gripping. It is a challenge for the author to make the reader curious about the rest of the story and developing an urge to explore it from the first couple of pages. And the author successfully does that. Let me conclude with nice philosophical yet realistic lines from the book. If there is one pain that can equal the pain of grief and parting with our most dearly loved one, it is the pain of seeing that dearly loved one again, years later, long after one has finally forgotten, and to be reminded once again, if only for a fleeting moment, of all that was, could have been, should have been, but can now never be again. I bought the book during a promotion, so for me it is the best value for money. I suggest you to keep an eye on various offers running on periodically at various online stores and buy it at the right time. By the way, we keep sharing about such offers on our social media handles periodically, so you can follow us and get intimated for the same. So, what is the conclusion? Well, I enjoyed this short ebook, and I am sure any adult reader who loves to explore romantic tales linked with ancient Indian literature will enjoy reading the same. Think reviews rating at least 7.5 to 8 stars out of 10. So, have you already read the book? Are you planning to read it? What do you think about this book review? Do you find it helpful in deciding whether to go for the book or not? Please do share your genuine remarks via comments below. If you have enjoyed listening to the review, please hit the like button and do not forget to share it with your friends and other fellows whom you think such reviews interest more. Till we meet with our next podcast, bye bye, take care, namaskar.